A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. The wagon trains that crossed the Great Plains of the mountains on their way to California in the early days of the western United States faced many dangers. But they found one ally against Indians and outlaws and the forces of nature. The strength and courage of the masked rider of the plains, his daring and resourcefulness, and above all, his knowledge of the country were always at their service. It was he, more than any other man, who blazed the trail for the emigrants and brought them safely to their destination. Return with us now to those thrilling days when the West was young. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver. We're heading for the mountains. Tunnel's waiting for us. Hi-Yo Silver! Bye!
The early sun, rising from the east, burned away the mists that covered the foothills, which sloped up higher and higher until they became mountains scraping the sky. The Lone Ranger and Tonto rode against the outcropping of the rock and saw a wagon train laying up in the gulch below them. The Lone Ranger raised his hand, and the horses stopped.
Now, the wagon train, Kimosabe. Ready to head over the Rockies for California. 10 wagons, 20 head of oxen, horses. Looks like a well-outfitted wagon train, doesn't it?
Maybe so.
It's no easy job crossing the Rockies, especially this time of year.
Maybe we go closer, huh?
That one wagon, Tonto, with a patched canvas top, it doesn't look in as good condition as the rest.
That's right.
I think we better give this outfit a closer look. Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
Rocky Mountains. Look at them. They sure poke their noses a long way into the sky. Look at them, Jane.
I've been looking at them for the last month, Frank, all the way across the prairie, day after day.
Yeah, day after day, Jane. They've been getting a little closer and a little bigger every morning till you could almost reach out and touch them. And now, well, now we're in them. We're really in the mountains.
Well, not quite, Frank.
All right, then, the foothills, same thing, I reckon. We're starting to do the real climbing today. California's on the far side, Jane. You been thinking over what I asked you?
Let's wait till we get there, Frank.
I love you, Jane.
I think I love you, Frank, but we'll wait till I can be certain. Please?
I've been waiting so long, reckon a little longer won't hurt none. I guess that's why I'm so all-fired anxious to get over the mountains, so as I can get your answer.
Hey, Seaton.
Huh?
Get a stiff neck staring up at the hills that way. Wallace wants you, Seaton.
My father wants Frank?
That's what I said, ain't it?
What's it about?
If you two had stopped staring at the mountains, you'd have seen it the same as we did. Look yonder.
Riders.
Frank, one man.
Yeah, a masked man and an engine. Wallace figures we ought to be around to see what they're after.
Yeah, Bob, I reckon I'll get my gun, too, just in case.
It's far enough, mister. You and the engine pull them reins.
You're heading this wagon train?
I am.
Frank, did you ever see a man who looked as strong as he does?
Quiet, Jane. But still, Sure don't look like no outlaw despite that man.
All right, mister. I notice you and the Injun letting your eyes rove over the camp. If you got a crew of outlaws in them hills behind you waiting to attack, you're wasting your time. We'd shoot you first.
We're not outlaws.
Come on, Wallace. Tell him to mind his own business.
Mister, you don't talk like an outlaw.
We mean no harm, Wallace.
We friends.
We want to warn you to be careful.
Yeah?
This time of year, the Rockies are treacherous. It's a long, hard climb over the peak, and you'll need every ounce of supplies and provisions you can carry.
You must figure we're greenhorns, mister.
Even seasoned Westerners have been trapped in those mountains. Before you start up, Wallace, make sure
Just
that...
a minute, Vice Man. You got anything else to add to that?
You don't want advice?
I'm leading this caravan that's getting to California without no trouble. These wagons are hand-picked. The oxen are good and strong. All the folks are personal friends of mine. Honest, upright people. That is, excepting for Barber here.
Barber, huh? Not your wagon with a patch top?
Yeah. Joined the wagon train at Wallkill. If it's any of your business.
Tonto, take a look.
No, me too.
No, you don't, Injun. You got 6 guns trained on you. Don't go no further.
Wallace, we're going to check on that wagon and make sure it's got supplies enough.
Sort of high-handed ways, mister. Who appointed you to do the deciding?
I did, Barber. Any objection?
Yeah. No masked man is gonna...
Don't move, any of you.
My gun!
Leave it there, right on the ground.
Jane, did you see that? He drew his guns and shot Barber's gun right out of his hand.
Lower that gun, Wallace.
All right, Vice Man. I reckon it's best there ain't no shooting. But you sure got a high-handed way of doing things.
It's your stubbornness, Wallace. It won't take us long, but we're looking at the wagons. Out of the way, Barber.
Well, Masked Man, are you satisfied?
You've got a good wagon train here, Wallace. Good enough to get to California.
We don't need you to tell us that.
But, Wallace, get rid of Barber.
Eh?
Oh, he's got enough supplies, the same as the rest. But he's the wrong kind of partner on a dangerous trip like yours.
Mister, I reckon I can judge character as well as any. Barber stays.
If something goes wrong, he'll think of himself first. He won't consider the rest of you at all.
On that, I beg to differ. And, mister, I've heard enough and wasted time enough. Outlaw, whatever you are, I bid you adios. We're heading over the mountains, and we're doing it immediate. Powwow's over. Get them wagons ready.
You tell him about Barber?
Yes, Tonto, but it did no good. Wallace is too sure of his own opinion to listen to any other. Yeah, let's travel.
Them got good supplies.
They should have no trouble, Kimosabe.
That's right. But me not like Barber.
We've warned them, and that's the most we can do. After all, plenty of others have gone over the Rockies with much poorer preparation. They'll do all right.
Maybe so, but Tonto not sure.
Wallace. Hey, Wallace.
Well, sit along the line, Barber.
Yeah, all hitched up and wait. My wagon's at the rear.
Gino, get back there. We'll be heading along.
Right. Get up, boys.
All right, folks. Get your reins steady. We're starting as soon as I give the word.
Mr. Wallace, can Jane ride with me part of the way?
Hey, I reckon so. She wants to. Hey, go get in your wagon. We're rolling. First team leads the way. Keep your wagon wheels right in line so it'll be easier traveling.
And here's my wagon. Up you go. And now, reckon we'd best forget about trouble. We got a trip ahead of us. Give me that whip, will you?
Here you are, Frank.
All right. Start your wagons. We're heading for California.
Here we go, Jane. Let me get that brake. Get up, you oxen. Get up. Jane, you know, somehow I ain't as happy as I was this morning. Looking up at them mountain peaks, I got a feeling that we're heading for trouble. A heap of trouble before we get over the top into California.
The wagon train crawled up the mountains like a giant centipede, up and up, slowly and carefully. The air became colder and sharper, and the wind began to whistle down from the towering peaks above them. As the climbing continued day after day, Barber began to show his true colors. The first indication was given when one of the wagons jammed its wheels while crossing a mountain stream.
Come on. Heave at these wheels. We'll have to lift her over.
Jane, rouse up them oxen when we start heaving.
Already.
All right, men, all together. Heave.
Heave.
Come on there, Barber. Put your back into it.
Pulling. You ain't pulling hard enough to lift a pebble.
Come on, she's moving. Heave. Heave. That did it. Reckon we get moving again. And Barber,
Yeah, Wallace?
the next time, don't let everybody else do the work, savvy?
No, I didn't.
Barber talked more and worked less with every passing hour. One night, with the wagon train camped halfway up the mountain trail,
I reckon you'll have to turn in soon, Jane.
I'd heap rather sit here with you, Frank.
Well, I'm keeping night watch, Jane. It's my turn.
Yours? You mean that ornery Barber's?
Well, he claims he twisted his ankle.
So he says, but it ain't so. You know it ain't.
Let's forget him, Jane. Oh, sure does blow up here, don't it?
Wind and more wind, Frank. I'll be almighty glad when we get over the top of this mountain pass.
Yeah, but
What's that?
wagon right here. The supply wagon. Leave that barrel alone. Stealing supplies, huh?
Don't shoot. You.
I might have known.
No, Seaton, I ruined a barrel of flour yesterday. Got it all wet. There's plenty here. I was just borrowing.
time after time, Barber showed himself to be as worthless as the Lone Ranger and Tonto had suspected. Everyone in the wagon train had some reason to dislike him, until finally, even stubborn old Wallace had to admit that he'd been wrong about Barber.
Yes, Jeannie, I reckon there's no fool like an old fool.
Now, Pa, it ain't your fault.
It is, too. I should have seen long ago that Barber was a worthless coyote who didn't give a hang about nobody but himself. He's been ducking work, grumbling, holding up the wagons till we're way behind schedule.
We'll catch up.
If I hadn't been so all-fired opinionated, I'd refuse to let him come along with us. Can't send him back now. We're in the mountains already.
A man alone wouldn't have much of a chance, would he?
That's it. That's why I can't send him packing. I sure wish I'd listened to that masked man, Jeannie. I sure do.
You see him on mountain?
What's that?
It's 4 day now. Every day Tonto watch you. Me see you look up on mountain.
Yes, Tonto. Ever since that wagon train left, I've been worried about them. We could see them each day up to now. But last night they camped in a hollow.
That's right. Air plenty clear to see wagon way off.
See that overhanging cliff that marks the pass, Tonto? The one heaped high with snow.
And that plenty dangerous place.
Very dangerous, Kimosabe. And the wagon train must be camped right below it.
Soon it begins storm. Look at cloud.
Yes, Kimosabe. The storm in the mountain pass is bad. But there are worse dangers. And that snow, for instance, it might be... Tonto! Look up there. It looks as if an avalanche is starting.
Barber, you doggone fool. I told you not to shoot off your gun. Just start that snow tumbling down,
You can try to say I was lying. Nobody can say that about me.
You can't, eh? Well, if I hadn't knocked the gun out of your hands, you'd have...
Oh, Frank, look, up the mountain.
What the...
No, it's an avalanche.
Avalanche. Sound of Barber's gun started it off.
Avalanche, let me fight. Let me get out of the way.
No, you don't. We're all working, all of us.
Never mind the wagons. There ain't time. Run! Run for your lives! Run before she hits!
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. An avalanche, started by the sound of Barber's gun, roared down and engulfed the wagon train in the mountain pass high in the Rockies. Hard on its heels came one of the sudden, violent mountain storms, whipping the snow before a vicious wind. Far down the slope of the mountain, the Lone Ranger and Tonto rode straight into the storm, fighting their way up the steep incline.
The storm is getting worse, Tonto.
Scout fight plenty hard in deep snow. Him plenty tired.
If we could only tell whether Wallace's wagon train escaped that avalanche. They might have camped beneath it after all. There was no way of being certain.
Storm come up after an avalanche. We not see anything.
At this rate, it will take us days to get up there.
And snow plenty deep.
Perhaps the storm will stop, Kimosabe.
Mountain storm, heap strange. Nobody know when it stop. Nobody know when it start.
And there's one consolation, Tonto.
What that?
When the storm does stop, Wallace's wagon should be all right.
What you mean?
From the wind. It's not so strong here, but up above, the snow may be swept clean. The wind is much stronger.
Get him up, Scout.
Come on, Silver.
Well, Seaton, we got one thing to be grateful for. Nobody hurt. We got out from under that avalanche just in time.
Yes, sir.
But it looks bad. The women folk and the kids are beginning to savvy. Them wagons is buried 3 deep under that avalanche.
We were able to reach one wagon, Mr. Wallace.
Yeah, just one. That little food we got out of it won't last very long. Seaton, somebody's got to get down the mountain for help.
Meaning me?
Well, if you don't want to,
Want to? I was going anyway.
You'll need a partner, Seaton. 2 men make easier traveling. The only man that's as strong as you are is Barber.
Reckon he'll have to be the one, then.
The rest of us are too weak to buck them snowdrifts. Figure you can keep Barber in line?
I have to, don't I? Besides, even a sidewinder like Barber can't run out on this.
Get help back to us, Seaton. I'm giving you some of the food we got.
Oh, no.
Don't be an idiot. We got mighty little, but there's enough for us who stay here waiting for a rescue party. You can't travel without some victuals.
If you say so, Mr. Wallace.
Yes. We'll pray for you, Seaton. Good luck.
Is Scout rested now, Kimosabe? The wind stopped, and the storm with it.
Up, Scout.
Careful, Tonto. The rock is slippery, covered over with ice.
It take plenty long. Climb slippery rock.
And the pass is still miles above us. If it were downhill, we could be there in 15 minutes. But uphill and against the snow, and the avalanche piled up, there's no way of telling. It might be 15 days or more. Tonto, that was a shot.
Come from up mountain.
Follow me.
You not take Silver?
And we leave the horses here. Now, wait here, Silver.
Scout, stand still.
And they'll stay there till we return. And this way, Kimosabe. Up this cliff. I don't think it's very far off.
I'll get over it. I'll get up there. Oh, no use. I can't climb that sheer wall. There's no use even...
Here, grab this lariat.
What it... Masked man, where'd you come from?
First, grab the rope. Tonto, now I'll pull you up.
I got it. Stop pulling.
Once more, Tonto.
Me get him now.
Over the edge.
Masked man, Injun, you certainly showed up at the right time.
You fell into that hole, Seaton?
No, mister, it was Barber shoved me in there. I went for my gun, but it was too late.
Barber, huh?
And there his footprints.
Mister, Barber's gone loco.
Where's the wagon train? Was anyone hurt?
The avalanche hit us, mister. The wagons were smashed and food was needed. Me and Barber were picked ahead for a rescue party.
Wallace still believes in Barber?
No, sir, mister. Barber's the cause of all our trouble. He's all you said he was and more. But now he's done the worst.
And these footprints head up the mountain.
Yeah, up. That one of his skunk is heading for the wagon train. He says he's going back.
Back? What for?
Food.
What?
Food, mister. Barber's gone most loco. He's so scared of starving, he said he wasn't going to freeze to death, going for help. He said there was food enough up there to keep one man alive for a good long time. He said he aimed to get that food no matter what.
What that?
Mister, that's him. That's Barber shooting. He must be up there again. He's loco, I tell you. As loco as a crazy wolf running sheep and twice as dangerous.
Tonto, go below. Get the horses and head down the mountain for our camp. We have plenty of food there.
Me bring him back.
The snow will have melted away some by then. Make it as fast as you can.
Time to do it.
Masked man, ain't no sense to that. What good is food if there isn't... Well, if there isn't anyone left when the food arrives but Barbara. Listen.
Come on, Seaton. There's no time to waste.
That's for you, Wallace. Don't come no closer.
For you sneaking coyote, you gone loco? We gotta have that food for the women folk, for the kids.
I warned you, Wallace. I got plenty of bullets in this here wagon, savvy?
You yellow rat, that bullet skinned right past my ear, I
Save your breath, Wallace. I ain't alone here.
What?
I don't advise you doing nothing crazy, Wallace. On account I got your daughter right here in the wagon with me. Drop your guns, I'll let you come close. That's it. Easy now. Now take a gag off.
Janie, how did this happen?
I was here at the wagon getting some food when Barbara come along.
Yeah. Reckon you won't start no trouble with your daughter right in the line of fire, Wallace. Now you've seen, go on back with the others.
Barbara, you gotta listen to reason. You can't mean to keep that food for yourself. It ain't human.
I'm saving my own life, Wallace. That's all I care about. And nothing you can say is going to make me give up one sliver of it.
What's that?
Hey, that looks like Seaton.
Seaton. Can't be. I got rid of him down the mountain.
It is Frank. And Paul. Paul, look. It's the masked man.
Wallace, Seaton,
Yes, where's man?
come away from the fire a bit. I want to talk to you.
Plenty dark, isn't it?
Wallace, as I see it, you've got two problems.
Mister, it all boils down to one. Food.
Yes, but getting your food from Barber is the first.
There's only enough here to last a couple of days.
The other problem is getting away from here before more storms come along.
Mister, if you can figure that one, you're a wonder.
I think I have the second problem figured, Seaton. But unless we get that food from Barber, none of us may have strength enough left to get away.
Yes.
Seaton, how's your nerve?
Mister, if you got a plan to get Barbara, there ain't no time to waste. Time with you.
He's got Jenny.
He's got the food, too, Wallace.
Masked man, we got to get working. When do you figure we go after Barbara?
Right now, Seaton. Now, here's my plan.
Well, them meat sure tastes good. Maybe if you act pleasant, Miss Jane, I'll give you some. I don't mind having somebody to talk to.
If I ate that, it'd turn to ashes in my mouth.
Yeah, tastiest ashes I ever ate.
Haven't you got any heart? There are children at that campfire, and they're hungry.
Ain't my kids.
You've got no more worry for anyone but yourself, have you?
You guessed it, Miss Jane. The weather's clearing up gradual like. A couple of days more, I'll bundle up this food and head down the mountain.
Leaving the rest of us to starve.
Fella's got to look out for himself. It'll be safe as a blue chip back in 4 aces. Nobody will ever get me because, well, they'll all be too weak to travel. I'll be the only survivor.
The masked man will get you healed.
Yeah, no, he won't. Wallace didn't, and Seaton ain't gonna, and neither is a masked hombre. There's loose gravel all around this wagon for 10 feet every way. Nobody could get close in the wagon tongue without me hearing them. Besides, with you here, they wouldn't dare to... What in thunder? The wagon is starting to roll.
How could it? It was on level ground.
Somebody got to the wagon tongue. They're dragging it. Where's my gun? Ah, there ain't nobody there.
The wagon's moving faster.
Off the flat. It's heading down the slope.
We'll die.
I gotta stop it. I got it.
Barbara, get the brake. The brake.
Yeah, the brake.
Pull the brake. Stop it. What's that?
Quiet, Miss Jane. Everything's all right.
The masked man.
Quiet. Here comes Barber.
Oh, that was a near thing. Reckon I went maverick wild there for a second. I should have figured a brake would stop us from rolling.
We thought you'd forget that, Barber.
What the masked man, how did you...
Seaton and I fastened ropes to the wagon tongue and started the wagon rolling. Even if you'd forgotten to pull the brake, we had the path ahead blocked up. We weren't concerned about you. It was Miss Jane and the food.
Climbed over the tailboard while I was up front.
I did, and now this food
Look
is...
out, he's grabbing a rifle.
No, you don't.
Oh, my arm!
I wouldn't waste a bullet on you, Barber. Take his rifle, Miss Jane. We're giving that food to the others.
Frank, that food sure is making a heap of difference in the way folks feel, isn't it?
Oh, look at them youngsters eat. Trouble is, there ain't more than enough for one more day. Even with the men not eating enough for a hummingbird.
Barbara's tied up good and tight, waiting till we get down the mountain to a sheriff.
Yeah, Jane, I hope we can. The masked man's about the only one that seems hopeful.
Yeah, look at him yonder. Standing on that high rock looking down the mountain. He's been there all day.
Yeah, I reckon he's... Janie, he sees something.
Get him up, Scout! Up, Silver! Hi!
Sai, Kimosabe! Wallace, Seaton,
It's the masked man. What is it, mister?
There's somebody coming up the mountain.
Look, Frank, look, it's the engine. He's got 2 horses, and they're both loaded down with food.
Good work, Tonto. You brought the food up the mountain even faster than I thought you would. Wallace.
Yeah, masked man.
Now listen to this. Tonto, is the snow melting down below?
Maybe I can get through.
Oh, no use, Injun. Mr. Weeder took the wagon down great long ago. But all the oxen are buried under that avalanche. We ain't got nothing to pull the wagon with.
Now, we have these 2 horses eating, Silver and Scout. Come on, Silver. We're going to hitch you to that wagon.
You come too, Scout.
Paul, the masked man's got it figured. We can do it. That wagon will hold everyone.
You'll be crowded in, but that's better than staying up here.
Some of you men bring what food there is left. Load it in the wagon. Hurry.
Scout and Silver hitched up, Kimasabi.
Good. Now, Miss Jane, you ride the brake. Keep the wagon from sliding too much.
I'll do that, masked man.
Wallace, the rest of the men throw ropes over the tailboard. If the wagon gets rolling too fast, they can hold it back by digging their heels into the
You
ground.
just hear that? Get busy.
I'll tend to that, Mr. Wallace.
Reckon we're all set, masked man. What do you want me to do?
You see that Barber doesn't get loose from his ropes. When we get down below, he goes to a
He
sheriff.
won't get loose. Masked man,
Well,
just between you and me and the engine. Are you as sure we'll get down as you appear to be? I tried to get to California once, but...
Wallace, you'll get to California because you'll try again.
That's right.
We're getting you down out of the mountains. You can depend on that, just as sure as you're born. Come on, Silver. Lean into the traces.
She's rolling. She's rolling. We're on our way.
Get him up, Scout. Hi-yo, Silver! Hey!
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated.